Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just got done fishing this morning. I had a fishing guide, and we caught some redfish, and we caught some Spanish mackerel, and we caught some trout. And so I have been out of pocket this morning, but I was paying attention to the markets a little bit on my phone, and it was very exciting to watch. From what I was told in the last hour, XRP had crossed over 50 cents. One thing I can promise you is that fishing guide will be looking into XRP and Bitcoin. He had no idea what I was talking about when I said XRP, but by the time I was done with him, he was ready to go. So he'll be going and exploring Coinbase tonight. But anyway, moving along, I wanted to. This is Coin Paprika here, and looks like I know that we crossed 11,000 at some point on Bitcoin, and I was told we crossed 50 cents on XRP. But look, this is what's exciting about this is that once Bitcoin crossed that $10,000 threshold, as I said yesterday, then the mainstream financial media, they now have a headline to run with, and that is great for you and I, because as holders of these digital assets, come Monday, when the news media picks up on that 10,000 figure, things should get exciting, and at a minimum, we should begin to see new waves of investors coming in. Now, you're still going to have the ups and downs of the market, but I believe for a long time that just like we had an over 15-month bear market, we will have that much and some of a bull market, because this market is so young and has so much more trajectory to go in the upward direction than it does in the down direction because of all the things that are happening. Okay, let's get into some things I found. First thing I got here was from the crypto utility guy at UtilityGuy7, who, by the way, if you don't know this already, he was an extra in Band of Brothers. I think that's cool. Every time I see him now, I think about that. For those of you that were Band of Brothers fans, he was one of the German guys in the scene where they gave the German soldiers a cigarette and then they shot all of them after they gave them the cigarette. He was one of the guys that got shot. So I think of that every time I see him now. Next, from Anthony Pompliano, he had tweeted every week. Anthony Pompliano tweets this out of the things that have happened that week. Bitcoin breaks 1,000. Facebook announces Libra. CoinMine launches Bitcoin mode. Bitmain planning US IPO. Lightning Labs launch mobile app. Bitcoin still not dead. The virus is spreading. And then Rhythm Trader comes in and says, the last time Bitcoin broke $11,000, Fidelity wasn't storing it, AT&T wasn't accepting it, Congress wasn't fighting it, Bakkt wasn't launching with it, Microsoft wasn't building on it, TD Ameritrade wasn't trading in it, Facebook wasn't competing with it. Exactly, folks. You are here at such an interesting time on this planet, especially as finance goes. But you know the way that I explained it to the guy on the fishing boat this morning about what I think this all represents, XRP and probably Bitcoin specifically. I told him, I said, post-financial crisis, look around at all the people that you know. Look at the people who didn't learn any lessons from that, because there was a huge lesson there. I told him, I said, look at the people that you see living on their credit cards and living in houses that they don't necessarily need. I said, what I believe this digital asset revolution represents, all of those people that your wife turns to you and says, why can't we have a house like that? Or why can't we drive nice cars like that? Those people that are living on credit, that didn't learn anything from the financial crisis, I believe that this digital asset revolution, what it really means is that when we get through it, as in 1 to 5 years into this, from here to 1 to 5 years, I believe the people who saw digital assets coming will be some of the wealthiest people in the world. They will be buying those houses that your wife is envious of. They will be buying those houses with cash, and the people that did the stupid thing and bought those houses and had too much debt and credit cards and buying cars just to impress their friends and family when they really didn't need to be buying cars like that, those people will not just be booted out of the middle class. I believe those people could be in a new poor class, an expanding poor class. I believe that the shift that is coming is going to be more painful for the people that didn't see it coming. It may be more painful for them than it is good for those of us that are in it. Although I think the good that's going to come for those of us that saw this coming is going to be much bigger. I believe that you're looking at a new ultra wealthy class. I believe, and I truly believe this, I believe that the Chris Larsons of the world will be bigger than the Vanderbilts of old times. The Vanderbilts, the J.P. Morgans, I believe guys like that will be able to swallow those kind of guys whole when this is over. That's where I think this is all going. I think that is how huge all this is. Not to go on a rant there, but that's what I told the guy on the boat, and I believe it firmly. Next, from XRP Garlic Brad, at Officer Quagmire. A minute ago, I had access to this article. I lost access. You know, on Wall Street Journal, if you're not subscribed, it goes to read the full story, and they want you to subscribe and all that. It showed me the full article at first, but that's okay. I just wanted to illustrate for you that Ripple and XRP and MoneyGram made the Wall Street Journal. There was a write-up in here about that. If you don't think that kind of thing gets the eyes of the most powerful, influential financial people in the world, then you need to think again. Okay, next. And there's a few examples of this today. At Brando Aguilera sent me this. And this is from Bloomberg. Remember, these are the same people that were telling you just a few short months ago that Wall Street had started to go into crypto, and then they changed their mind and they went the other way. These are the same people at Bloomberg that said that. And now, on June 21st, 2019, they're telling you that Bitcoin climbs to $10,000 as memories of the crypto bubble fade. There was no crypto bubble, folks. That was all a lie. As I've said a bunch of times on this channel, and as I told the guy on the boat today, you cannot have a bubble in 2019 with what today, well, the most that's ever been in crypto is $850 billion. And to put that in perspective, I have a lot of new people listening. The bubble, a real bubble, which was the dot-com bubble in the year 2000 when it peaked, there's different things that are set on it, but all of the numbers are agreed. Somewhere between $9 and $13 trillion was in the dot-com bubble before it burst. Okay, now that was the internet of information. This is the internet of value, the internet of money. This is going to be bigger, but not only that, $9 to $13 trillion in 2000 is more like 20 to 30 trillion in today's dollars. The dollar keeps being devalued, folks. Remember that. That's why we're all here. So for them, they're going to keep, anytime that these traditional media, they have to keep somewhat of a negative spin on it. There was no crypto bubble. That was a lie. They called it a bubble all of 2018, and they called it that and kept calling it that because they were all investing their money over the counter, which didn't move the markets. They were parking their money, and now they're ready for the money to be made. That's what you're seeing. That's what's going on now. Next, from XRP Tone Like the Sound, at Like Tone, sent me this, and this is from Inc. Magazine. A cryptocurrency is about to, this is Inc. Magazine, that's a big deal. A cryptocurrency is about to be used around the world, and it's not Bitcoin. Use of the third biggest crypto would be virtually invisible, but very real nonetheless. Sending money across international borders could soon be a job for cryptocurrency. It's not that families are suddenly sending Bitcoin to relatives abroad. Instead, Ripple, which fashions itself a provider of leading enterprise blockchain solutions for global payments, is aiming to be a bridge currency for transfers between countries. And then they go on and talk about MoneyGram and all this. That MoneyGram deal has put Ripple in the spotlight in traditional finance. We just showed you a Wall Street Journal. This is Inc. magazine. You're going to see a lot more of this type of thing. Next, from Jaquito McPhee. At Jaquito McPhee sent me this. And this is huge right here, folks. We've all seen it coming, and now you're starting to see them come out. These Swift guys, and remember, all along, the whole point of Ripple, the whole mission of Ripple, has been to either take a lot of Swift's business, which Swift moves money between banks around the world, either take a good portion of their business or put them out of business. Now, Swift announces, and Swift has acted like Ripple was just a flea to them. But now, look at this. Swift announces it's going all in on blockchain and open finance. The stage is now set. Tech companies in one corner, banks in the other, and blockchain between them. And now, today, less than a week later, Swift has released a new paper, Payments, Looking into the Future, written by the outgoing CEO, Godfried Liebrandt, and CMO, Luc Mirant, which is just as significant. It announces in no uncertain terms that Swift will be pulling all the world's banks onto a blockchain network for third-party businesses to develop their own financial services and apps within the ecosystem. This is the big one. We now have banks in one corner. That was the title. Both corners are fighting for global payments. Both corners have explicitly said that the only way anyone can compete going forwards is to use open systems. Both have explicitly said that they're going to be using blockchain to do it. It's do or die in payments. The cross-border payments landscape is no different. Do or die. We don't think that cross-border payments challenges should be solved with closed-loop systems. Doing so would easily solve for a subset or multiple subsets of participants, but value needs to move everywhere. Folks, these jokers are doing this in direct response to, this is for Swift's survival. That's why they're doing this. But the beautiful thing is it ties in with Ripple. Okay, so TA Academy at Kia Crypto, who, by the way, has predicted these run-ups twice for me. Swift, he says, Swift and Ripple partnership is coming, folks. It is coming. And then he's down here, he says, some so-called, no, folks, this guy, I want you to understand the context of what he's saying here. He's talking as a trader in the first line, okay? But in his last line, and this is me reading between the lines. In the last line, he's talking about the bigger picture. The bigger picture, remember, that's what's so great about digital assets, especially XRP, is that you have two facets of it. Unlike a stock, if you buy a Facebook stock, that stock goes up and down based on speculation. The same thing happens with XRP. It goes up and down based on speculation. But you have the other factor, the Z factor, maybe we could call it. And that factor is utility, which, in my opinion, will dwarf, DWARF, dwarf the speculation. And that's what he's saying here. Listen to this. Some so-called XRP traders direct message me asking when XRP $1. I do not trade XRP. I believe in XRP. If you're a believer like me, then dream big, folks. Think different, trade different. You should know by now that Joker is not joking. My plan is to sell some 25% at $55. Yours? He's asking you. In other words, this is my interpretation of what he's saying. The $1, the $5, the $10, the maybe $20, that's all speculation. It'll probably happen, in my opinion, relatively easy. The $55 and beyond that, in my opinion, eventually much beyond that, that is utility, folks. Brad Garlinghouse has said it many times. He doesn't even use code. He always says, we're working on a multi-trillion-dollar problem. That is Swift, or even if they replace 1 to 5% of Swift, Trillions of dollars flowing through this digital asset. Trillions. So let's go on and get some other opinions. This is from XRP Crypto Wolf. This is about the SWIFT thing. SWIFT announces it's going all in on blockchain and open finance. Pending the success of proof of concept with R3 Corda trade platform, we'll soon be enabling GPI payments on distributed ledger technology-based trade platforms. R3 Corda uses XRP to settle transactions. In other words, the solution that SWIFT is using, they're with R3 as well. The solution they're using is going to put them where the monies literally can be flowing in and out of SWIFT through XRP, and they can be actually working on the same team in partnership through R3 and Corda and this whole platform, what they're working on. It's really just the flip of a switch at this point between the two companies. Now, here comes more from XRP Crypto. It's a roadmap that SWIFT sees leading to its ultimate goal: instant, frictionless, global, 24/7 payments from bank account to any other bank account. After a range of trials, it's confirmed that blockchain DLT is going to be at its core. The elements are already in place. The technology is available, and the SWIFT community is progressing towards it. Key players have ambition and commitment to realize this goal. A coalition of the willing is forging ahead with change, making the future a reality sooner than expected. SWIFT announced that it's going to pursue an open blockchain ecosystem in which banks, fintechs can create and release their own finance-related apps for the benefit of consumers. Fintechs and other players can create and offer value-added services and in which innovation is fueled. The significance of the move to ISO 20022 cannot be overestimated. It will enable banks to channel instant payments across borders and right through domestic systems direct to end beneficiary accounts. It will allow smaller markets to internationalize faster and reach wider. Now, folks, listen, I'll stop right there. But I want you to listen to me and listen good. I know that the last 24 hours has been exciting. I know that you've seen XRP go up a few cents. I know that XRP has sat still for the last really year and just kind of done a whole bunch of nothing. And I know that it's exciting to watch and hit the refresh button, whether you're using CoinMarketCap or Coin Paprika or whatever. I know that's exciting, but I'm just here to tell you that XRP, there is a much, much, much bigger picture here, even than $5, $10, $15. There's a much bigger picture. The utility picture is the holy grail. That is what Brad Garlinghouse and the people at Ripple and all these Harvard graduates, Stanford graduates, lawyers, people connected to government at the highest levels. That's what all of this meeting with central banks around the world, the IMF. Normal companies don't get that kind of access, folks. There is something much bigger afoot. And we're not talking $5 and $10 big. We're talking something much bigger afoot here. And so, yes, have fun. Watch the XRP price go up 2 and 3 cents, or eventually it'll be going up $1 at a time. Watch it. It's fun. I love it. I was watching it while I was fishing, and I get it. I've been doing it since 2013. But just understand, there is a much bigger aspect of this, and don't lose sight of that and kick yourself later. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that I said that there is a much, much bigger picture. And so be excited, be very excited, but be excited on a much larger level, because this is much larger than many even believe. Thank you for listening.